This year, Paisley Abbey is celebrating its 850th anniversary. That makes it the same age as Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. To mark this great birthday, the Abbey team is putting on a whole year of celebrations, including the creation of a new pilgrimage route. These intrepid walkers have already completed it, and we'll see later on how they've been rediscovering the joys of pilgrimage. Also this week, Paisley Abbey seen through the eyes of the people who know it best.
When you come in here, you're lifted.
I discover the connection between this historic building and a very Scottish sport. How am I doing?
You're doing great. Keep going till we get in the house.
Plus some favourite hymns and Celtic tunes performed by leading young musicians. I'm sure you recognise this design. It's lovely, isn't it? Today I'm in the town that gave its name to this pattern, Paisley, which is a close neighbour of Glasgow. The Paisley pattern was woven into shawls like these and then worn by Britain's most fashionable women throughout most of the 19th century.
They were extremely expensive. They say you could buy a townhouse in London for the price of one shawl.
But there's much more to Paisley than shawls. Long before the textile industry brought wealth to Paisley, it was known for something else. The abbey was founded in 1163 by a group of Cluniac monks. They chose a site on the banks of the White Cart River. To mark this very special year, we've brought together choirs and congregations from across the region to sing for us, beginning with a hymn that's often heard at big celebrations, Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven. I love this abbey with its deep sense of spiritual and historical continuity.
I'm the Right Reverend Lorna Hood, moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland. You touch history when you come into the Abbey. You touch history because of the building, magnificence of the building, but you also touch history with people. You know, you come in here and you imagine of people who've been coming here for generations. You can imagine the weavers coming here. You can imagine people who worked in the mills, people who worked in the fields, people who worked in the factories. So you are just part of that heritage of faith. And when you come in here, you're lifted. You know, the stained glass windows are magnificent. The choir, magnificent choir, so that the music, you know, the hairs in your back of your neck start to prickle when you hear them.
I'm George McPhee, Director of Music at Paisley Abbey. This slate is probably one of the most significant things to have happened during my tenure here, and not just that, but in the whole history, musical history of the Abbey and indeed in Scotland. It was a slate simply excavated from a medieval drain across the road. Once you delve beneath the scratches, you notice there are musical symbols, very early musical symbols. This is the oldest surviving piece of polyphonic music in Scotland today. It's quite extraordinary.
And we know what it sounds like. You can actually play this.
It's not earth-shattering, but you've got to remember it's just one tiny little part of what was probably a three-part motet for voices. It's very special to me because this small object demonstrates to me that choral music was alive and well in Paisley Abbey over 500 years ago.
I'm Matthew McIntosh and the church officer at Paisley Abbey. There's a special part of this house that I need to show you. It's in this wardrobe.
Okay, let's see then.
Okay, Sally. This is the monks' dormitory, which was used by the monks who went down to do their duties in the church. They would go down a stair here. Just mind your step. Then the monks would come along to this doorway, which is Norman, and go down the night stair to the Abbey.
Oh, see, isn't it extraordinary? All through your wardrobe.
All through that wardrobe, yes.
It's just incredible, and it's so moving actually to get this sense of the past here. What's it like for you to have this connection to the faith of the past, really?
There is a connection, because in a place that people sometimes ask me questions about, is it haunted? And I believe the only spirits here are the Holy Spirits. But the connection is that the amount of faith that has been here, the amount of prayer that these monks must have prayed for whatever is connection to me in my prayer time, in my Christian life, that I can relate to that and I can steep myself in that, because there's a peace, there's a contentment, and there's a warmth about the whole place.